boxing is known as a sport for its highs and lows. How did you maintain motivation during challenging times? What sort of kept you going through the tough moments in your career? I know you touched on some of this already interview, but uh, it's when you have those highs and low moments. What keeps pushing? Well, was it more of a family thing?
Kids, my kids. Yeah, and not even my kids, myself. It's about me. Boxing is about, I'm tired. I just got done working 15-hour shift. I can either go home and sit down and eat some ice cream and watch TV, or I can get my ass to the gym and train. What's going to benefit me in the future? What am I showing my kids? What am I showing, you know, but I'm 47 years old now. Everything is different. Life, training, everything is different. But when you're younger, man, it's like I'm answering these questions. So I have a 3-year-old grandson. I'm a grandpa now.
No, nice.
So I'm answering these questions with like worldly wisdom, whatever it is. So ask me the question again. What did you just ask me?
So how did you maintain motivation during
Maintain
challenging times?
motivation. Yeah.
Is it having a long term vision?
I had zero vision when I started boxing ever to think that I would fight and beat James Toney. Like I never had an idea I was ever going to fight. That was never ever a thought in my mind ever. I was married. I had kids. I had a career. I was a police officer. I would have been a police officer. I would have been retired right now at 45 years old. Retired, move to Florida, get a sugar mama, live on a yacht somewhere. I mean, now motivation is just, man, it's individual, just about me. What could I prove for my kids? What can I prove for myself? So yeah, it's even now I'm still very, very motivated. I'm still in the gym hard. It's a lifestyle. What do I want to do?
So what motivates you now then?
It's about me. I'm divorced now. My kids are grown. I have a 16-year-old daughter, Angie. She just turned 16. And Angie's mother and I adopted her when she was 4 years old. So she's living with mom. They're in Orlando, Florida. They're still a huge part of my life. My son, again, is coming down next week to work with me for the weekend. So my job as a parent raising my kids, it's over. It's done. They're grown. They're doing their own thing. My daughter's married. She has a husband. Now she is his responsibility. So I did my job raising my kids the way I felt they should be raised. And now it's about me. When I got divorced at 41, and ultimately I pretty much hit reset on my life. I left my boxing career with nothing. Honestly, financially, I lost everything. So now it's about being happy, being satisfied in my life, my decisions that I do. Everything's about me now. I don't have to worry about my kids. I don't have to worry about everything's about me.
So if
So
your kids were to ask you then, no, Dad, I'm going through a tough time. So what would your advice now be to your kids? Because your kids helped you through the tough times, thinking about your kids, providing for them, you want to give them the best. So if they were then going through tough times, what would your advice be to them now then?
I mean, it all depends on what they're going through. My daughter's married. She has her husband. They have their own marriage. So that's on them. My son and I we're very close. He's a big gun guy. We talk about guns all the time. I bought him his first gun. He has a concealed weapons permit. Um, my son is me. He's very, very motivated. He likes to work. Um, just a simple thing going through when he just ran his marathon. I mean, I get dropped in the third round of Deontay Wilder. And I literally just almost cried thinking about it. I look out and he's ringside for the fight and he's looking at me and he's crying. And I'm like, fuck. He's probably, man, I think he's 10 or 11 years old, 12 years old. And those moments are like, I can stay down here and quit, and I don't have to worry about feeling any more pain. Or I can get up and show him whatever you feel, you got to get your ass back up and you got to keep going. And I got back up, and I'm thinking in my head, fuck, am I crazy? But those little moments, he will never ever forget that one moment. You know, that's how you raise you gotta be an example. You don't realize your kids are watching you. You have everything you do. If you come home drunk and you're screaming at your wife and the kids are in bed, you think they're in bed, but they're awake. They hear what you're doing. They see what you're doing. They see how you're carrying yourself. My son saw me going through my divorce. My son saw me rupture my Achilles and be laying in bed for 3 weeks with a cast on, thigh high cast, or I can't walk. He saw me recover. He saw me lose everything. I had to go back through the police academy again with a busted leg for 8 months to get a police job again in Florida. He saw me get a job. He saw me move. He saw me get back on my feet again. And now he sees me now. I am executive. Yes, I'm still boxing, but I do executive protection, bodyguard work for a lot of clients, a lot of high net worth clients, celebrities, athletes. And I travel the world with artists, singers, rappers, just high net worth individuals. I'm in Miami all the time with high net worth people, and he wants to get in the game too, but he sees the levels and the steps of who I'm with, who I'm guarding, who I'm, you know. I was just last week with, oh my God, Gordon Ramsay. I was with Gordon Ramsay last week. He had his restaurant open here in Miami, and again, your reputation is who you are. People know who I am in the protection world because that's what I do. I do armed security, and I got a call. Hey, can you come down to the restaurant and be with them? So you hang out with all these celebrities and you're a protector now. My son is the same way. He's a protector. Everything you do in your life. Another story. My son turned 18 years old. He came to my job. I was a police officer in Okeechobee, Florida, very small town. On his 18th birthday, he came and he did a ride along with me. So he came to work 17 and he left 18. He left my job as a man. But during my shift, we had some stuff happen and he was beyond terrified. He'll never forget those moments for the rest of his life, what we experienced. And those are lessons that he will see. And that's like your son. He sees you fight. He's like, my dad's getting his ass beat, but he's still there and he's going and he can do it. Bro, that's what a father does. You lead by example. So
yeah. And you mentioned as well your son's going to be working with you for the first time. My younger son works in the boxing club with me, and he also fights. So it's exactly, there's a lot of things you say that sort of resonate with me. So yeah, you're totally right.
When my son was born, I made him do everything with his left hand. He's going to be a southpaw. He's 6'4", maybe 190, and the kid's athletic, and I had all these aspirations. He's going to be a southpaw, 20-0. He's going to kill people. He's going to be a left-handed pitcher or a left-handed quarterback. He get paid $20 million more a year. He plays bass guitar in church right-handed, and I'm like, bro, you ruined my whole plan. But it's cool to watch him grow and become his own man, and yeah, it's having your kids watching your kids grow up and to become what they're becoming. That's the ultimate testament of you as a man, as a parent, how you raise your kids. So, and now he just called me maybe about a year ago. He's like, Dad, I want to learn how to box. I said, are you serious? You're 22 years old now. You want to learn to box? Like he would be the manager. He would be the boxing manager. He wouldn't be the fighter. But now he says, you know what? I think I want to learn how to box. Oh man, bro, really? You could have been. Who knows where you could have been? but he's a great kid. His name is Landon. Great
Right.
kid. Yeah.
So that sort of eases into the next question. So what advice do you have for young boxers looking to break into the professional scene, especially those who might not have access to traditional boxing resources? As we mentioned at the start, you trained yourself. So what's your advice for young boxers looking to sort of break into the pro scene? And you mentioned your son at being 22. I want to start learning to box. You started boxing at 19, 20.
Hmm.
So what's your advice for the younger guys then?
Well, I know in the UK boxing is like life. That's life over there. So I'm sure they're not going to have problems finding a boxing gym somewhere. Um, it's good to have support from your family, from your parents. It's everything in your life is how you're raised. That's my idea. If you're raised the right way, if you have family supporting you, your parents, hey, go to the gym, support you and it motivates you. But there's guys like Philly. I go to Philly. These guys, these kids in the gym, they're kicked out of school. They're arrested. They're selling dope on a corner. They don't have fathers. They don't have parents. Maybe they have a boxing trainer who is their mentor. That's their father figure. Um, like a Mike Tyson, he had a Customato. Everybody has somebody in their life who you can be a mentor to. Um, this is going to sound really weird by saying this, but I love kids. Meaning, I like when even being a cop, I'm at the local boxing gym, hanging out with the kids, because the kids are the foundation. You need to plant a seed in that child when the kids are young. If the kids are 15, 16, 17, they're already set in their ways, it's going to be hard to pull them back from there. You want to get them when they're young, get them in the right direction, plant the right seeds, give them the right motivation, give them the right advice. And me as a man, and me having the experiences, the world experiences that I have, I feel like I can teach a lot. I feel like I would be a great boxing trainer, but I'm just not. I don't. I'm not a babysitter. I'm a very old school, hard. I don't want to have no soft kids in my gym. I don't want to have no moms coming up to me. Oh, you can't say that, or oh, you can't. No, bro, drop your kid off and go home. Let me train your kid like he needs to be, because maybe the kid doesn't have a father at home. He needs to have a figure in his life. Um,
Yeah, things have changed, haven't they, from
right. I was
we were young.
from when I got in the gym in 2000 compared to today. It's a different world. It's a total, and I think the world's going downhill. They're getting better, honestly. I mean, it's getting crazy out there. So you got to have your own tight circle of people, and I have 3 or 4 friends in my life that are my brothers that I would die for. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a very, very small circle, but the circle I have are, if I need them at 5 o'clock in the morning, bro, I just killed somebody. What do I do with the body? Let's figure it out. You know what I mean? Like they are my. I'm not gonna kill anybody. It's just putting it out there. Like they're my ride or die. Whatever I need, they'll be there for me. That's the people you got to have in your life. And I think today, if you get the wrong, you get out of life the people you hang out with. If you hang out with shitbags and they're out there committing crime and doing what they're doing, you're gonna do the same. You're gonna be doing the same thing. If you go in the gym and you find a good team and a good coach and you dedicate yourself to it, you can do whatever you want in this world. You can do whatever you want. So you just gotta be a man. Just be a man. I mean, there's no men anymore. You go shopping at the mall, everything is skinny jeans and dainty little shirts. And bro, what husky jeans? I want some man stuff. Like I want some man. Like be a man. Yes.
I feel like you've just spoken to Danny.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Well, Dan is one of my friends. Dan is
Because if he's
I
quite
met
similar when you start saying, people wearing skinny jeans, be a man. This is something like, that I know Danny Stashford. Danny Stashford is saying the same thing.
Danny and I met at a gym here in South Florida in Deerfield Beach called Punch Fitness. Punch Fitness was the boxing gym, bro, for years, 5, 6 years. That was the place to go, and every fighter was there. And that's where I met Danny, a couple of my other friends, Walt, Johnny, old friend of mine. And when you're in the boxing world, I slept on his gym. I slept on his couch for training camps for 8 weeks. I've left my family to go in an apartment that I had no idea and slept on Danny's couch. I mean, him and I are really close like that. So he hooked us up. But Danny's the same way. He's old school.
Yeah, yeah.
We hang out a couple days a week and we talk to the young kids, and the young kids are talking, and I'm like, what are you talking? Like you have no idea about life. Like you have no idea. There's so much life out there. I mean, Danny's lived a long life and has so many stories, as have I. So we make jokes about it, but we try to give our input or whatever we would do in life to these
I
kids,
know.
so.
I know Danny done the boxing, and he also done some of the bare knuckle fights as well. Did you yourself do the bare knuckle as well?
I So BKB was the first. I did have a bare knuckle fight, but
Hmm.
it was called BKB, bare knuckle fighting. Buddy McGirt, he was one of the commentators. We
Okay.
wore boxing gloves, but there was a window where your knuckles are. So when you made the fist, your knuckles would come out of the glove. But it wasn't bare knuckle. You wore a boxing glove, but when you made the fist, like I said, the window, the your knuckles would come out of the ring or out of the glove. And you fought in this little like a octagon looking thing, but it wasn't bare knuckle like today. Like now you got the BKB, the bare knuckle fights, and David Feldman is the promoter with that. And we've talked in the past about me fighting, but it's not. I'm not gonna do that. These guys are getting cut up and mashed up, and oh man, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm too old
Yes.
for that. Maybe back in the day I would have one or two, but
Mm.
no. But no, to answer your question, no, I never fought bare knuckles like that. I've never had a street fight in my life. I've never hit
Oh well.
nobody bare knuckle. Never. I would never do that.
Well, it's the
Yeah.
right decision. It's the right decision, isn't it? If you're gonna fight, you might as well get paid for
If I gotta punch you, you're gonna punch me. You're gonna pay me. Exactly.
it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So looking back, are there any decisions or choices you would have made differently in your career, and what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh man, I've been all over the world. I've been all over the world, man. I just literally today sent out for a new passport. I have two passports that are totally full.
Nice.
Um, yeah, just today it was expensive, like $600. I was like, why is it so much money to get a new passport? But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I never got into boxing ever thinking I was gonna be a professional fighter, not even an amateur fighter. When I first won the Golden Gloves back in the day, Golden Gloves was like if you can say you're a Golden Gloves champion. I don't know if you have that in the UK, but
Well, not Golden Gloves per se, but yeah, I mean, we have a lot of nationals. But I suppose, obviously we're a smaller country, less boxers. Guys in the US, commonly I see guys with 100, 200 fights. Very rare when you see that here. A guy with 100 amateur fights, where it seems quite common in the US. So,
yeah, I mean, you go to a national tournament to get yourself to the nationals. You got to have 6 or 7 fights in your state to get the nationals. And when you get the nationals, you're fighting 5 days in a row. So you got 12 fights right there in one national tournament, and you got guys fighting 7, 8 tournaments a year. I mean, they have a lot of. There's guys who fights a lot. But I never got into boxing to be a fighter. I just did it just because I wanted something extra. And when I won my first, like the Golden Gloves, is like I'm a Golden Gloves boxer. I'm a Golden Gloves champion. Wow, man, that's amazing. But when I first won my first Golden Gloves championship, man, to to watch your journey from day one. I mean, any fighter you look at now, from day one to when now they're a world champion, bro. There's so many people only see the fight. People only see you get in the ring, you fight 12 rounds, and the new now you're the champion. They don't see 15 years before that what you went through, the pain, the the starving, the sleeping on the street, you have no money for food. You got your bag stolen from the gym. You have no equipment. Where are you gonna do? They have no idea. They only see a 12-round fight is 36 minutes. They only see 45 minutes of a fight. They don't see life. They don't see you dealing with wife and kids and work and family and people dying. And man,
Yeah.
so when you get to the fight, that's the easy part. They don't see all that training and all that stuff going on. I mean, have you ever had any pro fights, or you're just an amateur fighter?
No, I didn't fight pro. No.
And just being an amateur fighter, the training and the sacrifice, and man, you're tired, and Jesus, yeah, man. And I'm still doing it. I just fought. I fought in October and I fought in December last year in Russia. Um, I was supposed to be going back March 29th. I don't know if that's going to happen as of yet, but it's not even about the money. It's amazing. Russia's amazing. The people are great. The country's great, and it's just cool to be still involved. So yeah. And now I'm here with you. I mean, I'm still involved in boxing. It's pretty cool. I mean,
So it sounds like you wouldn't have changed anything.
it's been 25 years since I've been in the boxing game, and I've met the most cool, amazing people, and I have stories about, bro, getting robbed on the street in Hollywood and getting, oh man. To answer your question, I would not change one thing. I would not change anything. I mean, the only thing I would change, I would have a nutritionist. That was the only thing I never did.
I suppose being a heavyweight,
But I'm a heavyweight, exactly. But I was never, and you can ask Dan about this. I was carbs, and Dan would catch me in the middle of the night eating like croutons. That I would hide a bag of chips, and in the middle of the night I'd be like, "Oh my god!" He'd be like, "What are you doing?" He'd come out screaming at me, "You fat ass! Drop the chips!" Oh man, bro. But you meet amazing people, and yeah, man, people still talk about you. You know, a couple years ago, I worked this crypto currency event down in Miami.
okay.
I was a police officer. I'm directing traffic, and it's a world event. All these people come down from the crypto world, and like people from all over the world come here for this big, huge conference. And I'm directing traffic, and some guy stops me. He says, "Are you Jason Gavern? Are you the sensation?" I'm like, "What?" So this guy from the UK recognized me, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're Jason Gavern." And I'm like, "I'm just a dude. Like I'm just a guy." So when people recognize me, it's a little weird, but I'm like, "Hey man, we took a picture with them," but that is amazing. Like you remember me from a fight. Yeah, that's cool. So
So, so, so what about, you mentioned having those fights at short notice. What about, if you were able to have those 10, 12-week training camps?
go on YouTube. All right, so I have two fights that were my number one fights. Well, I fought Manuel Quezada. It was a 10-round fight for a WBC. I think it was uh, Caribbean, some type of intercontinental title or whatever. I fought him. I had a good, solid 10-week camp. And that was an amazing fight, and I won a split decision, but I won easily, um, unanimous decision, easy. Um, my other fight was I fought Jonathan Banks. Um, yeah, Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly fought Albert Sosnowski in Germany at some stadium, at an outdoor stadium. It was like 40,000 people, and we were the co-main event. That was my first 12-round fight. I had a 12-week training camp, and I was gone away for 12 weeks. I didn't talk to nobody. Life was boxing, and I went to the fight, and I beat Jonathan Banks 9 rounds to 3, 8 rounds to 4. It was an amazing performance, and they gave us a draw. And that fight changed the whole. That fight changed the rest. The decision of that fight affected the rest of my career because that's when I knew the corruption of boxing and how real it was because he was signed with K2 Promotions, Klitschko, and they gave him the draw to save him. That was a huge NABF title. I would have been top 5. I would have had a huge fight after that, and they gave us a draw, and I was depressed. I sacrificed 3 months of my life away from my children, and to have these old scumbags on the side of the ring steal that away from me, you guys are scumbags. You guys are scumbags. And after that fight, if you look at my record, I had like 6 or 7 losses. I was just taking the fights for the money, pretty much. But the one fight, Jonathan Banks, that was the whole determination of my career, man. That was the one fight I had at training camp, for true training camp, and I got screwed. So why have training camps if you're gonna get screwed anyways? Why keep doing it? So even with that, I was still not changing anything. So yeah, that was a tough time for me in my professional career for sure.
I mean, we asked about it earlier, but what sort of motivate you during those challenging times? So how did you get through those? You mentioned those next 6, 7 fights you were just fighting for the money. So how did you end up coming out on top of that then?
Yeah, I mean, I was taking the fights for the money, short notice fights. I fought.
Was it just a
There was
matter of staying active to just get it out of your mind, just keep busy?
I was always in the gym. Even when I got home from the fight, you'd be depressed, but you're in the gym. And at the end of the day, like I said 100 times, your eyes are watching. The kids are watching. They know what you're doing. So if you're just depressed, eating chips and sitting on the couch, they know what you're doing. But if they know you just went through a really bad, something happened bad in your life, and you just sit there and cry about it, no, life goes on, bro. Get up and just keep moving forward. So that's all I did. And I just kept going forward, and I ended up getting a couple more fights, and then you win a couple more fights, and then you get the motivation back again. So
Persistence. We mentioned that word
yeah,
before.
man, persistence.
Persistence, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There's always light end of the tunnel, isn't there?
Yeah, even though you lose a fight, okay, you lost a fight. I just went 12 rounds in front of 50,000 people in an outdoor stadium at a soccer field. The co-main event to a Klitschko. I'm not supposed to be here. That's a blessing in itself. And I won the fight. I beat Jonathan Banks. And I have the text from Bashir saying, yes, I won the fight. So, anyways, damn, bro. And I was in camp with, I was actually roommates with Bashir when I was in camp with Klitschko. Me and him shared a room for 3 weeks or so. Bashir's a great, great man. Yeah. Yeah, man, boxing's amazing. So my advice to the young kids out there, get your ass in the gym and box. That's it. Don't be a bully. Just go in there and box. Yeah.
But you mentioned some of those crazy stories. So what are some of those crazy stories? And what's the craziest story you sort of experienced in boxing?
Oh man. I was in training camp. You remember when I'm in camp with Monty Barrett. It's me, Monty Barrett, Malik Scott, um, Shadow, and Shadow is training Sid the Jewel Vanderpool. I think he's a middleweight from Canada. And we bring in, remember James Butler? James Butler's the guy.
Yeah. Did he?
After the fight, he didn't like the decision, and he walked over to the guy and punched the guy in the face and knocked him out and broke his jaw. So I'm in camp with James Butler, and me and Malik are roommates, and we're staying in the same room. And we wake up one night, and James Butler's like looking over us, like creepy. And we're like, what the fuck is going on here? This guy, what's going on here? But he was just super, super, super creepy. Just a weird all around dude. Now this is after the fact that he hit this guy. I don't know if he got arrested and went to jail, but this is maybe a year or so afterwards. We talk. He knows I'm a police officer, and at the time I was still a cop in Scranton. We're talking about certain things. Like 2 months later is when he killed. Remember Max Kellerman, the HBO guy?
His brother, yeah.
He killed Max Kellerman's brother, and just that whole experience, like he was going through in that time during training camp, he was going through something mentally, and I noticed it. And I said something to Shadow, like, "Hey man, what's going on with this guy? Something was off with this guy." But then when he went and killed Kellerman's brother and did all this, like I was with them, like a month before, like I was just with this guy in training camp. It's just crazy, man. There's like, oof.
And
I
you
think about
woke
that
up.
guy.
You woke up during night, and he was just looking over you.
Yeah. He was in our room, and I'm like, Malik, what the fuck's going on here? We're like, we gotta go. You know, Malik's freaking out. But a month or two later is when he killed Max Kellerman's brother. It was the whole thing is crazy. It's nuts. Yeah, it's crazy. Boxing has some crazy characters, man. It's
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I know you know Coach Billy Padden. Yeah,
yeah,
I remember him saying that boxing attracts them all from Yale to jail.
yeah. Yale to jail.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Billy Patton. Yeah, man. Billy from Philly. Yeah, bro. Boxing has amazing people, but at the same time, there's a lot of weird. The managers, they're the snakes. They're the tough ones, man. Eddie Hearn is amazing. I think Eddie Hearn is one of the number one promoters in the world. That guy's a genius. What he does. Um, I would love to get into some type of commentating. I would love to get behind a mic and talk and be involved. And I think I would do really really well with that.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of having the right connections and just with this whole we're talking about the Misfits boxing and Jake Paul and them. They have guys on there talking sometimes, and they're like retarded. They don't even know what they're talking about. I'm like, what are these people talking about? They talk goofy. They don't have experience like that. I don't know if you can say retarded on here, but I said retarded. Whatever. But I'm like, I could be a better commentator than these guys. I mean, yeah, making the right connection. Maybe Eddie Hearn will watch this and say, let me have Gavin come over here or something.
You never know who's watching, do you?
Yeah,
Like you say,
exactly.
like I say, opportunity.
Yeah. I'm still, bro, boxing's been very, very good to me. Boxing's been very, very good to me. And boxing didn't choose me. I chose boxing. I didn't have to quit my police. I had a marriage and a career, and I could have just kept doing that. I didn't have to quit boxing and travel or move to Florida and quit boxing or quit the police department. And it was the best decision I ever made because I got to experience life. I mean, yeah.